right, here we are.
There's that pickup.
There's that pickup. Time to call mom. Let's call our mommies. It's like we did last time, you goofballs were on the show.
That might have been our best segment of the year.
That was hilarious.
That had me dying all year long. I've watched that video too many times.
We called our moms and asked them live on the show if they breastfed us.
Whose idea was this?
It was Nick's, and it couldn't have been the best. It couldn't. I think it was the best idea of the year. All of our moms are the best.
We have kick out all different in their own ways.
Yeah.
We found out, we called my mom first, and she just answered it like a champ, like so honest, so straight. She was like, yeah, you're breastfed. You know, doctors told us breast is best. And so we were like, sweet, no way. We go after that phone call. We're like, all right, we got some momentum. Breast is best. Ultimately, Nick calls his mom. His mom shits on him. Awesome. And
A beautiful moment. Beautiful moment.
Mom wasn't having anything of what Nick was saying. It was great. And then Andrew finishes us off with his mom. After we called her, she didn't answer. And then she called into the show. Great, even better.
Yeah. She called in, and she was just getting back from ladies' night.
Oh,
Funko night.
Oh yeah, and she's in the car, and it was hilarious. Breast her best. My mom gives me the rundown that I was breastfed for 3 months.
You rejected her, basically.
And I had a weak stomach.
Only 3 months?
A weak stomach, dude. And I was out.
Yeah, and she totally shit on him for that too. It was great. And then after, like, she let him have it after that. So like, she's like, yeah, I bagged it. I had to bag. She was like, I bagged breastfeeding you, dude. We went right to formula because you had a weak stomach.
I honestly thought like everybody was formula milk out here. I really did. I really did.
Well, I mean, not all of us are lactose intolerant, Timmy.
Right. Just now, once again, from Africa, we all get breastfed. So I just figured everybody here would have formula milk.
Is that why your vertical's not very good? Is because you weren't breastfed?
Who is lying to you about this vertical?
I don't know. I just been hearing things, we were like, yeah, you're going on the Astronaut show. Like, get ready. Timmy's there, but you got to watch out for Timmy. Timmy, as cool as he may be, he can't jump very high. So you got to treat him differently, which I was like, I don't want to treat him differently. Like, he's just like the rest of us. But, these are the things I hear.
And in all honesty, the vertical is terrible. Because before you guys got here, I tried to jump over the sun butter and it didn't work out too well.
Ah, damn. That's a good video regardless, though. Get a little 120 FPS 1080 shot and on right there of you trying to jump over it.
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, slow the frames down. That'll look good.
Mm-hmm. Now we're working on something.
How's the trip down 52, boys?
It was windy.
We thought it was 35 east at first. We had no idea.
Did you know Rochester is the windiest city in the country?
I did not.
Yep, number 1. Damn. Chicago's number 3.
Oh, shit.
So everybody wants to call Chicago the windy city?
Yes, I do.
Bitch, the Med City's the windy city, dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But isn't it windy because of its political climate?
We literally have nothing to block the wind.
No, not
Chicago.
Chicago is the third windiest naturally windy state, but the number 1 windiest political state as well.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Break that down.
Don't. I just don't. I can't. That's just something I've heard. Honestly.
That's facts.
Repeating a fact. That's what podcasters do.
Basically,
that's facts.
We just talk to people smarter than us, and then it's like the fish just gets bigger down the road. That's podcasting for you. So if you want to start a podcast, make shit up, and you got yourself a podcast.
But I also I think the coolest part about the 4 of us right here is we both started podcasting in 2017 in February. We're both walking into our having done now 3 years straight of podcasting, fairly consistent. I just think that's really cool. Like, where did you guys say you started this podcast?
Well, it actually started up in the Twin Cities in, I believe, Maple Grove. It was the summer of 2016.
Okay.
We recorded 6 episodes, Ron Lamprecht being one of them, that we never released. So it was Dave Chiarini and I, and we were just getting the ball rolling. But what really did it was we had announced we got all of our equipment, we had our spot, we were going to be doing it. And then it was like the day or 2 days before, after we had announced that we were going to be doing this podcast, this goofball to my left hits me up. Hey, man, I want to do a podcast too. I immediately was like, well, you're my boy, so just be on our podcast. And then here we are 3 years later, still rocking. Yeah.
It's awesome.
sick.
Yeah.
Timmy had a sabbatical though. He had a sabbatical where he went off to he grew a mustache and he decided to be a used car salesman for a while.
Were you really? Were you like? Well, you kind of strike me as an Acura guy.
More of a Subaru guy.
Subaru? Okay,
Oh, hell
sick.
yeah, dude.
I love that. That's dope.
Mhm.
Shout out Tim.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
you Subaru too,
dude.
Do that again, please. Come on, man. How you
Dude.
miss? Eric.
Oh, shit, dude.
Dang.
What? The camera it'll look like we did it.
It looks like he's fist bumping his astronauts. That's fine. It's loyalty.
I'm gonna say
Smooth.
you're like a Jeep guy.
I wish.
Damn.
I'm a 05 Dodge Stratus guy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would not have thought that at all.
Yeah. No, it's you can't read every book by its cover,
What's your infatuation with your boss, Decky?
What's my infatuation? The fact that he's like 67 and we're like the best of friends for like the funniest reasons.
It seems like that. What made you guys click?
He takes all the things I give him, like the shit that I give him, and just turns it into other jokes that we just continue to roll through. So like a good example, he is, these superintendents that work at my company are super rich because they were like employee number 6 back in the 70s and then have grown this to $10 billion employee-owned company. So these guys they have dividend checks every year that come in. They're probably like $400,000. But anyways, Darvin is building this pole barn in the middle of like Carver County somewhere because he has like 30 acres of land. And I went around and told everyone while he was building it last summer that it was a weed shed and that he was getting ready to start farming weed out in Carver County. And like, rather than this old guy be like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Like he just buys into it. So now he's like telling everybody that he's building the weed shed and everybody at work is like, Darvin, how's the weed shed? Like it just becomes this like movement. And like, it's him and I in this office and we fuck around every day, dude. Like
What do you do?
I'm a field engineer for PCL construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys still located at the airport?
Yeah. We're just finishing up. So Darvin and I's run will be done here probably like May.
Will you still be Facebook friends afterwards?
100%.
Yeah,
This man is glued to Darvin the rest of his career.
Is he?
I'm riding his coattail.
Yeah. And no one likes working with him because he's a very unique personality and he's like
Methodical. Yeah.
so you have to, the way you can enjoy his personality is you got to play into who he is, which is awesome, right? And Declan's bought in, and this guy is the right person to be bought in with. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's also a genius. Like the
Yeah,
guy's
he's
been
really
working
good.
for
Yeah.
like 40, he's worked for PCL for 41 years. And he's built like all these like insane buildings. So like he just tells me what to do and I just learn from him and like we work together on building the exterior of this parking garage and we're almost done. And it's like yeah, our job is so like it gets to be so easy at times because we'll have like 8 different people working for us, like different companies. They'll all be doing their own stuff and like Darvin and I just keep them in order and they just go build it. Like it's pretty simple at this point now. So we have a lot of time to screw around. What it feels like.
It's so funny to watch your stories because like I watch your stories because I want to tune into your boss.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And in your TikToks, I got to tune into Darvin, bro.
All right. I got a new Darvin TikTok coming up actually.
You do?
Yeah, not to hype my TikTok on your show, but we got a big time Darvin TikTok.
Let's
coming up.
go.
Is he talented or something?
No, dude, he's just such an old guy.
He's an old guy. Yeah.
He bought me a selfie stick.
Oh, and he was explaining Deck how to use it too. Oh, it was
It's so
brilliant.
interesting with how you two, your characters, you can get along with old people very well. And that kind of transitions into the famous Dave story. This is a story that anyone who wasn't at your live show or is tuned into your show, they need to hear it. This is a legendary story.
Yes.
And Andy, doesn't it start with you?
It does. And famous Dave, big heavy set guy, didn't fully understand that when he was coming over, and so he walks through the door, and I'm like, hey, can I get you anything? Would love water or anything. And I grab him a water, and he follows me into the kitchen. He goes, where's the studio? And I was like, 3rd floor, 2 flights of stairs, right around the corner. We'll be up there in a second. He looks at me dead in the eyes, and he just goes, I don't do stairs. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. All right. and like you can't react because it's Famous Dave. Like I had to just keep like straight face. Yeah. I immediately grabbed my roommate and I go, hey, could you like just keep Famous Dave occupied? And Deck was off grabbing like some new apparel that we got, so he wasn't home.
Yeah, we just got our first set of snapbacks in. So I was like, hey, I'm going to be a little late. I got to grab these snapbacks. Right. Very important stuff we were working on. And so my roommate is distracting Famous Dave, and I run up to the studio, and I'm just carrying down equipment down to our living room. And it's just like this amount of setup, everything. It's a hilarious sight to see. And Famous Dave's just like talking to my roommate over in the corner, and I just hear him ask, so what do you think about retirement? And Famous Dave responds to him, it's an industrial age concept. And I'm like, oh my God, that conversation over there is hilarious. And then Deck rolls through the door and he's got his snapbacks, like big smile on his face, and he sees all the equipment in my hands. And all of a sudden, Deck and I just look at each other like shocked, don't know what to say, and I'm just like, Famous Dave doesn't do stairs. And then he's just like, all right, and we just started rolling around the house and brought the whole studio down. We had to like reset up the studio for like, it took us like at least a half hour. Like honestly, the person who won that podcast was Jack Burke, the guy who had to talk to him the whole time. And Jack Burke's like he's just a plain old guy, you know, like he works at insurance. He's going to ask all your typical questions. He had to have asked by the weather, at least by question 3, right? Like Jack Burke couldn't have asked for a better guy to tee that off for us.
By the time you guys kicked off that podcast, who was sweatier? You two for moving all this stuff, or still Famous Dave?
Still Famous Dave.
Still Famous Dave. That was far. I mean, the shock on my own face, like when we had booked him, it was, you know, kind of just from like a random one-off thing. So it was the day of the Kentucky Derby, and we're outside with our buddies, like playing Beersby, drinking. Mm-hmm. Turns out there's like a party across the street in the neighborhood of just a bunch of empty nesters, and they invite us over for tacos. They were having a Cinco de Mayo party and not a Kentucky Derby party. So we had cultures clash right away. It was kind of awesome, to be honest. And we get in there. Obviously, we start talking about the podcast. One of the guys like, oh, I run a charity. I think that's really cool. Like, you guys should have on some cool people. We're like, yeah, sounds good. He's like, you guys want Famous Dave? We're like, sure, yeah. So like within minutes, he put us in a group chat with Famous Dave. I call him like 2 days later. Or no, I texted him 2 days later, just an intro. And within the minute, he calls me. He calls me. And I'm like, motherfucker, like you never look on your phone and it's just like getting a call from Famous Dave, because that's how you put it. You don't have a guy and not call him, put his name on your phone as Famous Dave, right?
You refer to him as Famous Dave the entire time, of course.
Yeah. Anyways, he calls me, I pitched him on it, and then 2 weeks later he shows up. And the first time seeing him, getting back to my point, he's like, he's huge, man. And you just don't, you can't fathom it, or you can't really conceptualize until he's there. And then of course
he brings the energy though.
He brings the energy. Holy cow. That was another thing.
He's very reserved off air. And then he has a flip where he is full Famous Dave, like the ones you probably see on like commercials, but he just does it for an hour. And then at the end, he goes back into like sleepy mode. But dude, when he's on the hour, he is en fuego. He's got like sound bit after sound bit.
So when the lights are on, it's action.
It's action. He loves it.
It was sweet. I almost cried on the show.
You asked him, is he the most famous Dave ever?
Yeah, I asked him if he's the most famous Dave ever, and he said, yeah. He confirmed it. That's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm. How many famous Daves do you know?
Well, I know a lot of Daves, but none of them even deserve to be called famous.
I think his answer to correct you is there's only one famous Dave. He literally says that.
Yeah. So, no, I am the only famous Dave.
Exactly.
It's exactly.
You know what I'm saying? No, I am the only Taco John. There are no other Taco Johns. I am the only one. Well, actually, John, that's accurate. You are the only Taco John I've ever met.
Yeah. I got a friend, John, who likes tacos, but he's nowhere. He does not pale in comparison to you, Taco John.
Of course.
You Taco.
I'm sorry. Like, you could say calling yourself Famous Dave is like, you can say what you want about an ego move, but we'll let that one slide. If you're going to be named John and you're going to build a franchise called Taco John's, that's if they want to call cultural appropriation. Why aren't they screaming anything about Taco John's? You got to know a dude, John Smith, who came and stole the land from the Native Americans. As if that wasn't bad enough, he wants to steal tacos too. Yeah. What the fuck?
At least Taco
Smith?
John doesn't have an ego like Long John Silver. Ooh, Long John.
Of course.
He's proclaiming himself already.
Oh, John. Yeah, that's a
And he
little,
sells fish the whole time. It's like questionable, dude.
yeah. That's one you kind of have to think twice about. You know,
can't trust
Taco
him.
John and Famous Dave are so fucking in your face. It's like, oh man, there's got to be other ones. Like I would be the asshole to be like, well, you know, Dave, there's also Dave's Famous Barbecue up in Wisconsin. What do you think about that? You know, something
fact.
stupid like that.
When it comes to the process of you two getting guests, this is, I think we align so well beyond Giselle Ugardi, our fairy godmother, who introduced us at the Gary V after party. And then we've been best friends ever since. Beyond that, like, I think we align in regards to our confidence and the reach out, because let's be honest, that's how you get guests.
100%.
Confidently reaching out and, you know, being able to sell something. You have to sell yourself. What does it take in regards to your guys' reach out and how you pull, like you have Chris Lindahl coming up, episode 1 of season 4. What do you think it really takes beyond confidence and execution? Because you've successfully done it. Chad Greenway, go down the list. MJ Unreal.
Yeah, I think what we do fairly well is we find the name of a person and we have like six or seven of their friends that they know, but we don't realize it at first. And then by all of a sudden, like we've had 6 of like Chad Greenway's like one-off friends of a one-off friend. And then like we had 6 people to recognize when we say, hey, Chad, you want to come on our show? And like, and then he's like, oh yeah, I know X, Y, and Z were on there. I trust them, type of thing. But we had no idea that we were close to him, like 4 people in. We were just having like fun people on that we thought were really cool in the community. And they just and that kind of fell in with like the Famous Dave story. And
Well, I would even say like,
even like Michael Jordan and
right.
Yeah.
Well, even off like MJ, it's interesting to look back now because it's always hindsight, but it's cool to see the momentum's built not by us necessarily. Like, yeah, we reach out and we start with a guy like Michael Jordan who we get referred to by Brandon. But if you look at what's actually going on is like the people that we're having on, we're making a positive impact with them, becoming genuine friends with them, and then they're building the momentum for us to the next person. So like we can take you down lists and lists of different times where we've become friends with someone and then they're like, you have to have this person on and then you have to have this person on. But like they're referring to you to different people with just in industries. So like by the time we had Michael Jordan on, the next person we had was Lola Red, who then gave us Chad Greenway. Once we had Chad Greenway, we had Carly, then we had Ben Lieber. And then now we're looking at like trying to get Paul Allen, Kyle Rudolph. We were going to get Jason Zucker before he got traded. You know, it starts to build on itself, and then you can just kind of tap back in. So like Carly Zucker's already hitting us up after we tweeted at her, and she was like, "Hey, I got to come back on when I get back in town." We're like, "Sure, absolutely." So I think it's not really us, right? Like we're just the ones kind of being thoughtful about where we want to go. It's making the genuine impact when you have the conversation with them. You know, look them in the eyes, listen to what they're saying, ask the thoughtful questions. That's what really builds the momentum to the next person, to the next person. So I think just doing that over a long period of time has helped.
I think that's been the biggest thing that so many people forget about. Like they want to start a podcast and they want to hit the ground running, but they totally forget about the relationship aspect. Or no, it's beyond the names that come on our shows. It is the relationship we're building and that we genuinely listen, we genuinely care, and we genuinely want to build. And they understand that energy, so they want to help us build because let's be honest, if you're pulling somebody who's got a bigger following than you, that's a win in our department, helps our show. They're doing us a solid. The least we can do is actually respect them, listen to them, and pay attention.
100%. And I think like Timmy, I don't know if you know this, but like Nick was very influential in the like year 2 of podcasting for us. You kind of like instilled a really cool mindset with just like the give back asset is like your best weapon to use in your back pocket, if you will. Like you kind of instill that in us, and we like appreciate that because that's how we run the back pocket. Honestly, yeah.
The art of the give back. We talked about that, and there is like we're doing it with our Pay It Forward campaign with Some Butter. Nice little segue where it's like, why wouldn't we do that? Like Some Butter sent us all this stuff and my friend's the owner, but the thing is they're doing it because they want to start giving back more to the community. So something about radiating with that circle where it's like, well, they're going to give to people who give. So then we start this pay it forward campaign through Amazon Prime where people go and they buy a jar for their neighbor, coworker, best friend, whatever that may be. And then we're going to send you a jar of Sun Butter. And that is an art of energy. So people, Carly Zucker, for instance, that girl has scaled up. She was going to scale up whether being married to an NHL player or not, just because that's who she is as a human being. And those two make a dynamic couple. You know what I'm saying? Because Zooks is a master of the Give Back 2. The Give 16 campaign is going on right now with Unreal. And that's something MJ, so it radiates with MJ because that's what MJ does.
Yeah.
MJ understands the art of the give back and the art of paying it forward. And that's something where, like, even Brandon, Social Butterfly, he'll come down and shoot something for you. The Brodsky Bros roll into the live Backpocket podcast and are helping out. Spencer, same thing with our Lincoln Drink events. Like, look at what we've done. Caleb.
Yep.
We've created this vortex of just giving.
Yeah.
You know, and that is something that you can never take it from us because we're unconditionally, genuinely doing it. And we do it just to do it. We don't do it to talk about it.
Right.
All the while, that's where the conversation is gone.
Granted, we are talking about it right now, right? And people are like, oh, yeah, they're talking about it, but we're doing it too. And we're doing it together. That's the best part.
Oh, it's so
the
fun.
art of it. And that is where we do it so others will radiate there and they'll hop in on the vortex. Surf's up, dude.
Surf's up, man. And I have so much fun doing it. I love the circle of people that I get to surround myself with. It's definitely just fun to be around here.
It's nuts too, because you think we were just talking about this in the car down here. We just started doing this. It's called Embrace North, where we go and do like workouts on Cedar Lake in Minneapolis, and then intermittently or at the very end, we'll jump in the water and then submerge for anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes. And so we started doing that like 3 weeks ago. And then just through a connection that invited us there, we were like, oh, we got to bring some friends. And like people were interested in it. So we brought them to the second one that we went to, filmed it and everything. And just like the impact that this guy started it, Luis, he just started it by himself. Week 1, week 2, he brought Jason, who brought us. Week 3, he brought Jason, who brought us. And then we just brought a bunch of people. Everybody joins in, but now like we're known as like the ice guys in Minnesota. It's so weird. And that's also obviously self-proclaimed, but you wouldn't believe how many people have hit us up like, hey, what is this, right? And it's not like we sat down at a coffee shop and tried to plot all this deal out. It's like, no, we were genuinely interested in what he was doing. He was genuinely interested in what we were doing. And we worked together, and it's been 3 weeks? 3 weeks. I mean, it's just cool how when you work together like this the monetary thing is not really the point. It's just the collaboration and like the genuine fun you have while you're doing it. That's what really matters.
You've been doing that on Sundays, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, every Sunday at 1.
I wanted to ask you, because we're going to get into your cold shock therapy, which is what we'll define it as. What's your energy like Monday morning?
It's like very like high, motivated. Yeah, like even like right after the whole day is like your adrenaline is at like a very even like keel, but it's like pumping.
When do you normally do it?
1 o'clock.
Okay, and it's with you all day. And then throughout Monday, you said too.
Oh, it's yeah, and it's kind of it'll carry on, and like you just keep riding the wave of like overcoming that simple challenge, and like your mindset is just very healthy. So you're not really afraid of much, and nothing really intimidates you.
You do it too.
What the cold shock therapy?
Yeah.
Which one are you? Is that just like a cold shower you're saying? Or?
Oh, the ones we do on Sunday. At 1
yeah,
o'clock.
yeah. So you're saying it carries for you from 1 p.m. on Sunday through Monday?
The mindset that I have of just it's such a simple task.
That's sick.
But if you don't think you're afraid of anything after you do something that simple, and you overcome it and you push your mind for 5 minutes into something that you really haven't tapped into, there's a lot of fulfillment running, and you should feel like you shouldn't be afraid of much because your body can take that much type of thing.
Yeah, it's so
I don't know. That's how I feel when I do.
No, I agree. I guess I haven't really thought about it that much. Like, I definitely feel jazzed as shit for the rest of my Sunday. Like, I look forward to Sundays because of these workouts, because once you do them, your productivity and just like your mindset is so cool after it, because you basically just told your body to shut up and your mind was in control for however long you did it for. Like, we go out there and work out with our shirts off. We'll go and jump in the water and like you legitimately feel warm. It's super cool.
Do you focus on your breath prior?
Yeah.
Do some Wim Hof?
Oh, yeah. The whole works, yeah. We do like an actual workout, too, in the snow.
Yeah.
40-yard dash, and like you're doing burpees and bodyweight squats.
And all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
We got to try that.
Yeah.
Y'all some 21st century Eskimos.
We're Eskimos, dude.
Yeah.
We embrace the North.
Did
Yeah.
Mark Amick go with you?
He did.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's my favorite.
He's the best.
Mark and Papa Amick, too.
Yes,
That's
dude.
right, dude. You know. Daddy Amick, he bought us that lunch that one
Blue
day.
door.
I was like, I walked in, just met this guy, don't even remember his name, and he's already buying me lunch. That's fucking dope, dude.
That's fucking dope. Papa Amick.
That's
Greg
his guy.
Amick. Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Mark's at Cairo, I was thinking of Matt Weist. So he was explaining to us the breathing of like how it, he says far too often we operate at a temperature where we're close to boiling. So like for us, it would be like 212, right? That's what boiling point is for water. So we sit around like that 211, 212 just all the time because we're going. But the breathing brings you down to like 208, 207. And so you're super, super low stress right before you go and put yourself in a high stress situation going into the ice. So when you go into the ice, you go from that 207, but then probably when you jump in are mentally focused about, shocking your body, probably only jump up to about a 210. That's still, the delta is still lower than what you typically operate at, and you're sitting at ice cold water. So he was saying that because of that, you're able to, focus a little more, relax in this water, and like, then you kind of let your mind take over, which is really cool.
3 years Center of Movement anniversary coming up March 14th.
Mm-hmm. Union Depot, Lower St. Paul.
We in there like booty hair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dr. Matt Weist, Center Movement, baby.
Yeah, we there.
You coming, you gonna come to us or with us to do one of these embrace things?
Yeah, I have to now.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, is that
that a
something
good
you guys
sales
would be
pitch?
interested in? Or?
I have to
Let's
now.
get it.
It's bullshit, but
Timmy,
I have
don't
to.
jump in though.
I'm going to jump in.
No.
You can't swim, Tim.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in. What?
It's only like 2 feet. So
Tim.
it's not big.
So a jump in for Tim would just basically be him just stepping in.
We pretty much got to the point now where we're just doing things. So I'm just going to jump in. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And by jump, he means like he won't get very high.
No,
but
I want you.
He'll
Yeah.
end up in the water.
I just think it's dangerous if you try to jump. That's what I'm saying. I think you're gonna try and prove people wrong. I think you're gonna be doing
Dude,
all these
hold up-
things.
hold up
I
your-
just want you to step into the water.
Hold up your hands, Tim. This dude's got some flappers on him, dude.
Nice.
Look at that. He's got some flappers.
I got tiny ass
I
hands.
have tiny hands, too.
Yo.
You're looking at two tiny.
No,
hand
I'm not
boys.
doing that, dude. I got tiny hands.
Yeah, wait.
No. Oh no.
Yeah.
You have long
So
fingers,
silly
dude.
goose.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Decky small hands. Andy, there's a snake in my boot.
Come on, dude.
I love it though.
Yeah, I got a question for you, dude.
Okay.
How many like businesses do you own nowadays? Like, what do you, or do you just like collaborate with a bunch of people? I'm so confused sometimes
No, I have
as to like what your day to day is.
I have multiple LLCs.
That's awesome.
And an S corp. Me, I am just like this, bro. I'm this like ultimate subcontractor.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you want to classify it, I'm this ultimate subcontractor I've always had this entrepreneurial way of me where I'm really good at making money come out of thin air. Does that make sense?
Yes,
In so many fashions. So a book I always relay back to was this one when I was like 16. Leah Verderami. She told me about this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. She's like, Nick, you're always making money in so many different ways. You've got to read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I read it and I was like, oh, it just basically defined the art of residual income and creating multiple streams of income so you're not the poor dad next door who's got to be enslaved to a 9-to-5. You can be the rich dad who's always got streams of income. And that's me. In a nutshell, I've just created 8 different streams of income.
I get asked this question about him every single day. Every single day somebody asks me, like, what does he do? What's his job? I'm like, man's a grinder. That's all I say. He's a grinder.
So like when people like clock out, that's when I'm working still. But the thing is like I work all the time so I can work a little bit at all times. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So what that means is I have freedom. So I can get up and go whenever I want because I can work remotely from anywhere. You get my drift?
You're always moving.
Because most people have the 9 to 5 or whatever it is. With him, it's like, I'm starting my day earlier than you'll start your day. And I'll drag it out all day long while you're trying to fit all that stuff within a 9-hour period.
Right.
And that's kind of where, like, I've noticed that. And that's where we've instilled with our sales, because if you're getting up at 7 a.m., I'm getting up at 4 a.m. Because that 3 additional hours is going to be a lot more for me versus waking up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I know my rhythm. So I leave here, say at like 10 o'clock or 9:15 at night, go to the gym, and then I'm at the gym till 11. And when I get home at 11, that's when my wife is clocking out. So I've got the baby, and baby doesn't go to sleep. So I'm just sending emails, responding to messages, things like that, which is still considered work because there's money involved. So like for me, I'll clock out at like 12:31. And then it's back to it. And it's like kind of sickening because I'll wake up at like 7:15. And if I do have to get my wife to work, if it's too cold, then I'll get her to work. And that's where I'm answering messages, emails, and then plotting. But this is the art. I never set meetings. It's rare for me to set a 9 or 10 a.m. meeting. Typically it's 11 in post. So earliest normally is an 11 a.m. meeting, and then I'll have meetings from 11 to 12:30, and then from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 2:30 to 3:30, and then 3:30 to 4:30, go get my wife, grab the baby, get them situated at home. I'll come back here, and that's where I get on my FaceTimes. That's where I get on my calls with my creators, things like that. So like my days are full of meetings from 11 o'clock till about 4:30, and then it's back to the grind creatively where I got to come here and, edit podcasts, stuff like that, get things going, be in group messages and make sure things are dialed in, scheduling, stuff like that. Because like right now we just got asked to take on entertainment for the main stage at the county fair, Rochester Fest. What else? Still have our other events coming up and going on. We got Lincoln Drink. We've got Cash and Over coming down here April 4th and hoping to book more comedians, things like that. So I'm working we got Riff Raff coming June 12th. That's a partnership with CLM Presents and the Astro Network. So these are things where when you're always in motion, I can't get stagnant. I can never stop motion because that's when production stops. And as you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to just keep moving and keep going. What I like, and I have to compliment you two about because you guys do seasons with your podcast. So, Decky, you just went to, what was it, Thailand or Vietnam?
Thailand, yeah.
Thailand. So that's an awesome spiritual recalibration where it's like you get to go build stories for the next season. Mm-hmm. Would you consider it that by how you do seasons, you get to go recalibrate and build stories?
I think that's a very well way to say it. And this off season, that Thailand trip was incredible, dude. This man, come on, dude.
It was gnarly.
With Ivy Adventures, those guys really know what they're doing.
Yeah, it was so unique because Andrew and I both got asked to go on the trip again through a connection. He came on the show in the first 2 minutes of the podcast. He asked if we want to go to Thailand with him. It's like if I were to describe it, it'd be like one circle is like service and doing good for others. The other half is adventure, with a bunch of people on the trip. So it's literally half and half. And then that Venn diagram is boom, Ivy Adventures, in Thailand. And so Andrew was in Hawaii. I ended up going to Thailand. So, we get there. It's amazing. It's just so cool. We're totally out of our comfort zone, going and helping Thailand villages every day and whatnot. But it was just one of those things where it simplifies everything. You go over there and like none of them have phones. All they have their family, what they love to do every day, and like the fun games and things that they play. And their life is simple. And guess what? They're happy. And it makes you realize like what actually freaking matters.
How long were you there for?
2.5 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was sweet, man. It was insane.
So did you know everybody in that group going?
No, I just knew I knew Steve, the guy who ran the whole trip, and then I knew Jonas Stillman, who's a speaker. He's a generation studies expert. He wrote a book on Gen Z with his dad when he was 16, and he travels around the world and speaks on Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y. Like, he speaks on everybody. To like LinkedIn, dude, the man's everywhere.
Corporate America hires him out because they need him to speak to the old generation about how to connect to his generation.
Yeah,
and he
really
gets paid
cool.
by like Corporate America, which it's a great business model.
Yeah,
and
he's a glue piece.
He's a glue piece.
Yeah, he's awesome. But what's so cool about Steve and what made this trip so unique is Steve lived in Thailand for over a year. And got to know all the people, got to know all the different spots to go. So it was like he was this tour guide who was just so excited to share what he had done for a whole year with all these different people that he knew. And I mean, we were just doing the most insane stuff. Like, we did a dirt bike trip up into like the jungle. I had never ridden a dirt bike before. I was like stalling it in the middle of the streets in Thailand at like 10 a.m. And then by the end of the day at 4 p.m., I'm like riding up a fucking hill to get to a waterfall. It was insane. Like, it was so fun. And then he even takes us down to like Krabi, and we chill out there. But we were mainly in Chiang Rai, which is in the northern area. Mm-hmm. And he took us to like these Buddha temples, all these different things that like no one would ever go to. And he's just like, look, you guys, he would just look at us every time we'd go somewhere, and he'd be like, look, it's gonna get kind of scary and it's kind of sketchy, but if you say yes, you're gonna be rewarded. We're like, all right, sweet, let's go.
And there's no way Decky Sunshine is going to say no.
No, right. You can't say no to that.
There's no way.
It was sick though. Like, so when we went to Krabi, I kind of like, Steve didn't really know Krabi as much, but when I had gotten there and put it on my Instagram story, which it was really weird. Like, when I was posting all my stories from Thailand, where I'm 14 hours ahead, so I'd post it like right before I go to bed. And then I'd wake up, it would be your guys' day. And I would get like at times like 25 different people like DMing me about it. I was like, geez, I guess this is kind of entertaining for people. But anyways, when we got to Krabi, some guy DMs me and he's like, yo, dude, these guys, my buddies just went to Krabi. They said you got to try the shroom shake. Like, it's not very advertised in this place called Railay Beach, but you got to go. So then like Steve's like, hey, dude, we got an open day. You got anything you want to do? I was like, yeah, let's go to Railay Beach. And so I found this deep water free soloing event or thing that you can book. And it's where you go out on a boat, a private boat. They take you out there to like an island. It's just you've open or free solo rock climbing from above the water in the ocean. And then you cliff jump into the water. It was insane. So this is exiting out of Railay Beach, which is this super hippie, off the beaten path island in Krabi. Take a boat there. We go to this place to get the boat out there at like noon. He says they're going to leave at 2. And so I'm like, all right, I got to go find the shroom shake. So then we go to lunch. I asked the bartender, he said, because it's like a hidden menu item, I just asked the bartender, I'm like, hey, you got one of these shroom shakes? And they're like, no, we don't have it here, but if you go around the corner, this place has it or whatever. So I go around, get there, ask for the shroom shake. The guy's like, you want the shroom shake? I was like, did I hesitate? So just kidding. No, I was really nice about it. These Thailand people, great. But
you gotta let the
he's like, yeah, right away.
End up missing.
But I'm like, yeah, right. But I'm like the only one in this bar except for this other like 30-year-old London chick, and she looks at me and she's like, oh yeah, I just had that yesterday. I got lost in the jungle at night. Like, I had a pretty bad trip, and she's like smoking a joint on this like couch. I'm like, well, I'm not going to have a bad trip. So I'm about to go cliff jumping. I'm going to be just fine, lady. Yeah. Sorry to hear about your situation. Yeah. Nice to meet you, but Decky's going to be just fine.
We're on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. Decky's going to Boomtown, all right, lady? Don't worry about me.
Decky Deep Dive will be A-okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was so cool, though, man. Everybody ended up taking it, had like just a really, really cool experience. I mean, it was like so bright at all times, and I was just, my head was going as we were getting out there. We finally get out there, have some trouble like getting up right away, and we all just like cut ourselves on these rocks because talk about these rocks in Krabi. Get this is so cool. Mm-hmm. The rocks at the top are carbon dated to like 250 to 500 million years old. Granted, that's a lot of a big time gap, but they think that these rocks are 250 million years old. So what we climbed on for the most part was like coral, but it was above water, and we're 70 feet up above water.
And it's just chalky. It's like falling apart as you're grabbing it.
No. It was like super soft, but it was spiky. It was like
Oh.
spiky. It was really interesting. So anyways, we like barely get up there the first time. We're freaking out, but we figure it out, and we figure out there's like the captain like didn't throw us the ladder to get up right away. Steve, this guy, just struggled to climb up and get up there. Then the captain was like, "Oh, you're gonna need this," but after Steve had already like fallen off 7 times. It was ridiculous. So anyways, like we all climbed, no one fell, no one got hurt, no one did anything, but we all like I climbed up I've never rock climbed in my life, and all I remember is just like hands and feet. I just dialed in out of nowhere, and I got up to like a 65-ish foot spot, and you get up there. And first off, like I had not given any other thoughts to any other things I was doing. I was following loose English from the captain, 50 feet down, like put left foot where right foot was, reach around, you'll feel something, grab it, turn around, go back up. Like just following basic instructions just to get me to where I knew I needed to go. And then when I got there, I just like, you kind of just sit back because your arms are shot, and you look down and you see the blue water, and you can see all the fish, all the jellyfish, all these just like different little creatures swimming around. And I don't know how far down it was, but it was the coolest thing, man. It was insane. You just felt like you did something that you probably, like I thought I probably could have never done, but I never gave any of that thought. I just looked up. I was like, here I am. It was so cool.
And you jumped?
Of course, yeah.
And did you jump once?
No, I did. I jumped like 5 or 6 times. There's a shot of me swan diving over my friend, over Jonah. I'm like, he's underneath me with his arms out like this, and I'm swan dived over him, like doing over like a 40-foot gap.
Did you go pet any elephants?
Yeah, I petted one elephant, and it was.
You patted it?
I petted it. Is it pet or pet?
Patted?
Patted.
I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know, but it sounds funny to say it. Yep.
I like the idea of
I
it.
touched
Yeah.
I touched an
That's a good
elephant.
point about it. Yeah.
Touched.
The ass end of an elephant. That was about it, though.
It was the mushroom smoothie.
Yeah, shroom shake, man. It was so cool. It was awesome. It's so cool.
Did you? Dang, you got to pet an elephant.
That's not the highlight of my trip.
But still, that's badass. Damn. And Andy, you were down in Hawaii at this time?
Right beforehand, I went down with my family.
I didn't know you were down in Hawaii. Because
My parents-
you could have came back with a lifetime supply of Fiji for us.
I should.
But you didn't. But you didn't, dude.
Why
I
does
think
Fiji
Jackie was a
water
little
just like
closer.
taste better than everything else? Have you ever noticed that? Like it just tastes better than water.
Volcanoes, that's why. It's volcanic
Nice.
filtrated, bro.
Is this from Ragnarok?
I don't know. Dang, dude.
I don't know, I'm just asking questions. Sorry. It's a podcast. We fill time with questions that you normally wouldn't ask.
That is true.
Yeah, and knowledge that you shouldn't even know.
Right. But back to what you were talking about earlier with like podcasting. I love I feel like the reason why it works so well from like a collaboration standpoint is like we don't necessarily when we hang out, we record podcasts because podcasts are no different than conversations or what you would be doing anyways, right? But they're undistracted and they're intentional. But they're intentional to the point where you're kind of riffing off each other and it's improv, right? You have no idea what Andrew and I are about to say. We have no idea what you're about to say, but you're listening to the best of your ability and then you're giving your next like bit or building point onto something. And then when you sit back and listen to it, you're actually like arriving to a point of whatever that is. And guess who that is? That's the listener.
It's pretty much like a college frat party.
Yeah.
A bunch of random people, you
exactly.
have conversations, and then that's podcasting.
Right.
I call it an empathy wave.
Ooh,
So it's literally we're just jiving back and forth, and it's, oh, that was an awesome story. I'm going to empathize with a version of a happening I had that's similar. And then it's like it builds on each other, and it's that wave that just goes, whoo, because we've all, as you know, hundreds of episodes in, plural, where there's been the bad ones, the rough episodes where when they're bad, and the only thing that gets through them is grit and determination to end it. Please, Lord, let this die.
It feels like, you know, because when you're enjoying a conversation, like as a podcaster and you hear a point, you're like, oh, I got to hold on to that because that's a great question. But when it's a bad podcast guest, you're like, all right, ask the question. And you're like, I hope to God he doesn't give the 15-minute answer because I just said one thing. Like, what was the podcast we did? I don't need to name names, but who was the 2-hour, 40-minute podcast we did?
With the older guy.
The older guy.
Yeah.
I guess we could say his name.
We talked about it on our live show.
Yeah, oh yeah, we did. Gordy Thomas, dude. Oh my God, this
2
guy.
hours?
2 hours and 40
2.5
minutes
hours.
sitting in like wooden chairs, bro. It was
Old
insane.
studio. Yeah. And he was a storyteller. You know, one of those guys that just gives you like 25-minute like spiels. And he's an older guy, and he just
Spiels. Anytime you hear
Spiels.
spiel, there ain't nothing good that comes with a spiel, dude.
dude a spiel. Yeah. Gordy, we love you, man. You
Back in my day,
and there were some impressive stories, but they were exhausting. They're about technology and like software, about how he played the game of software with he was a coworker of my grandfather's. So that was like cool, like learning like the little side story with them. But that was quickly over after 2.5 hours.
You made your bed there,
Right.
Interviewing one of your grandpa's old buddies.
Seriously.
Have you ever gotten into an interview where you booked them, they're sitting down right in front of you, you're recording, and once they start talking, you're like, oh no, we never should have done this.
Not a ton. I think a lot of them. I'm like, all right, let's keep trying and see what they're actually like makes them tick, and see what like they want to talk about more importantly, because they're kind of maybe an introvert, or maybe they got a little facade that they want to be this special person. And you're like, oh no, let me like learn about you, dude. Like I'm gonna ask you some sweet questions, just answer them, please.
Yeah, no, I think what it goes down to is like, yeah, it takes
There's
some
dope
time.
people in everyone,
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta just find what makes them tick. Like, one time we had a guy on that had just ran the Chicago Marathon, and he's getting into running and all this stuff. And like, we were talking to him about something, and
Star Tribune.
it was the start. Yeah, we
He
were
was
just
working at the
talking to
Star
him like
Tribune.
about his
Yeah.
job or something, and we were like, man, he's kind of uncomfortable. But then we had like brought up the running thing, and then he just went off, and it changed the dynamic of the podcast. It was like, whoa, now I can see like we kind of struck a chord with something, and I feel like that's why. Or what you kind of have to do is you're kind of poking the bear at all the different things you know about them. And then ultimately there's going to be something that they're going to really want to talk about. Because think about it, if you're in their shoes, like you don't want to necessarily you maybe not even have the content or feel comfortable talking about something that you don't really, really care about. But once you do, here you go.
That's one of it's like a battleground early on in your podcasting career.
It's a war zone.
It's a war zone, because like you're already a chicken with your head cut off.
Right.
You're still not a master conversationalist yet, so you're just figuring it all out, you know. And at that point, you hadn't started comedy yet. You've always been a goofball though, but it's honing that in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Timmy, we experienced this where like there was 2 times we had to interview 2 guys twice because our old producer and partner, he still comes on the show, Dave. He, not famous Dave though. He
Just Dave.
He
Just Dave. How many Just Daves are out there though? Let's be real.
Just Dave.
Millions.
He messed up the audio on back-to-back episodes. One of them was with Rue Yori, the
American Ninja Warrior.
and then another one was with Fernando Fred.
Yeah.
Right? Was it
Fred.
Fernando?
Yep.
He had to come in twice. And we're talking, this is a dude who gave us basically a one-off performance. He was playing live music.
Mm-hmm.
He's a phenomenal guitarist from Puerto Rico. And he was singing.
You had to let Dave go.
And we had to, because of the spell check errors, we on the iTunes descriptions, we had to have a sit-down talk. And he got it. He started getting it right. And then the audio was on point after that. But there was a couple where you're kind of embarrassed because you got to go back to these people. And you have to tell them, like, yo, you got to come back in, bro. Because we need to release 2 episodes a week. And we got to get this dialed in because, you know, we were recording, I believe, a week in advance at that point.
We're doing 2 episodes a week.
You know, so it's like, bro, sorry, I don't care about your schedule. You got to come back in on Sunday.
But isn't 3 is a crowd though? You would think though. I mean, because it's just 2 of you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, initially for like the first full year, it was a solid 3 of us, and I mean, it just got to a point where just being able to stay accountable for 2 other people at all times, and especially with him, he's on it. You know what I mean? So then with me and the not famous Dave, it just got tough.
Right.
And it's just easier this way. We still love him.
And he'll pop in. He'll come in whenever he wants. We always do our annual show where we go through our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, your intentions every year.
Yeah, every year. But that's the thing with man, when you have so many people, so many heads inside of an operation, it gets tough unless you have believers. When you have believers like how they're here, boy.
Yep.
Ty Webb.
Dude,
Ty Webb.
Yeah.
Ty Webb.
Ty Webb's a man.
That dude is motivated. Why? How do you know that? Because he is in Carlson School of Business, and he's doing his own podcast on the side of helping produce your guys' podcast.
Right.
So that right there shows that why wouldn't you want to have him on board? Because he's a motivated individual. You know, and that's where when you can have that assurance in regards to partnerships, it's like, well, I know you're getting in your hours outside of here no matter what, so why wouldn't we want to have you involved? You know, I don't care if 3's a company in that regard. You know?
Totally agree. It was so cool too. Like we knew he was bought in at first, and it was awesome to like keep in touch with him and hit him up whenever we really, really needed someone. And then it wasn't until we had to bring him in, I like texted him at Fritz like, hey man, our other producer left. Can you be our producer now? He said, yes, no question. And I think within a couple months, or I forget when he did it, but he wrote us a letter. And and just saying thank you of like why he sees everything that he does worth it, and why like and the impact that we had on him. It was like really, really well written letter, because the one thing about Ty is he's so much smarter than us. Dude.
Oh yeah, we don't stand a chance in a
He's
conversation.
so much smarter
he beats me
than
every
us.
time. It's
Every
like,
time.
hey, Ty.
Like granted, we got a couple years on him in terms of like, I don't know,
Life.
I
But
guess.
his brain's just more efficient than mine. God,
Yeah.
and his vocabulary. He always trumps me when I say something wrong too, and I'm just sitting there like,
Right. He just corrects Andrew, and every time we give him a chance to, we always give him a question at the towards the end of the podcast. We bring him in and have him ask him a question, and literally every single time he asks the question, the guest always goes, "That is a phenomenal question. That is a great question, Ty. Like, thanks for asking that." And Andrew and I are sitting here like, that would have been a good one to ask. I didn't even think about that. Like, thanks, Ty. He's the man, though.
He's a good interviewer.
Very good.
Really, when I see younger kids like that operating, it gives me hope. It really does, and I give all the props to Tyler. He's a beast. I believe Timmy just met Tyler's girlfriend today.
Amanda?
We don't know. Yeah.
he hasn't. Yeah.
Maybe. So what happened to your old producer?
Intern Sam, he wanted to take the summer off. He likes the boat.
What an idiot.
He loves going down to his boat and being intern Sam.
Oh, so he just wants a party.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
I think he had other stuff going on too, though. I don't know. I'm not gonna try and force someone to show up when they, we're not paying them or anything.
Right.
You kind of have to find the person who's
That's the
like
hardest thing,
interested.
He gave us a good 5 months, and I do appreciate him a ton.
Yeah, no, the guy put us on the map in a totally different way.
Yeah.
He provided so much different value from what Ty. Like Ty's a true producer, asks the right questions. Guy just is dialed in on total fronts, and then Sam is like one of the funniest guys, dude. Like we started doing back end shows where it would just be me, Andrew, and Sam, and they were doing better sometimes than the guests that we had on that week, just because Sam was so good at like driving and bringing up different conversations that it was just so entertaining.
The reason why, because I looked at it like Sam blew an opportunity, because I knew he was a personality.
He was very
Yeah,
good.
he was.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
So good.
So
and
good.
it was like I wanted him to stick it out because I knew that about him, where it was like, dude, you're a character in your own right. Not to mention, like, you could be a playboy too. Like, you
Great
could,
looking guy.
Yeah.
you could provide value in regards to Boatcella,
Right.
and that's
God,
what
he
I
left right before it too. Yeah.
But how do you convey that vision to somebody though at an early stage like that? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
It's
how are you
different.
supposed to look
So
at somebody and say, "Hey, man, you're not getting a dime out of this. You got. I mean, this is exactly what the plan. That's what you did.
You either got it or you don't. There is no in between.
It's the truth.
And oftentimes with people, they have to fail before they get it, and they need to give up on opportunities before they understand the value of blessings,
And
opportunities.
sometimes things just don't leave you. It's one of those things where no matter how hard you try to stay away from it, it just keeps getting presented back to you. So like a guy like him, who knows, he might knock on that door here in a few months from now and just be like, "Hey, for some apparent reason, I just feel like I need to get back on board with you guys."
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it'll come back around eventually. But I think the one cool thing about like momentum or seeing the value beyond like a payment or anything like that is like we basically started reaching out to all these different, or posting different job titles or things that we needed help with. And we had in the ballpark of like 15, 16 people reach back out to us saying like, hey, I'd be happy to help. And, since then we've hired like a handful of people who are, legitimately getting small, simple tasks and getting the ball movement, building momentum for us. Like, it's very impressive. By the way, Lapidary Jewelers, as I'm talking, I'm walking across the Lapidary Jewelers Rochester, baby. Let's go. I just wanted to do that because it's like trailing right here, right?
It's going to be. Now we had to put you in front of the green screen.
Right? Yeah. We had an idea for that, by the way.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're going to sit them on the chair and make them spin around in circles.
Perfect. And then I want, like, every so often, if you ever point at me, you got to act like I'm like a globe and you just spin me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Andrew is going to maybe massage your head this time.
Yeah. So there's another one where it's you spinning or just standing there and you're just, and I'm like, as I'm just going to be going like this as you're rotating.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, let's talk about Bochella.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This is hilarious. I had something going on. I wasn't able to make it last year. Kicked myself after the fact. We have to talk about Bochella. This idea you guys had, you executed, made it happen. Yam House played the first one. Tell us about Bochella and what to expect this year.
Me?
Go ahead, dude.
Okay. Let's see. Well, for starters, Bochella is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Coachella-themed boat party. We had the idea 6 weeks before we threw it last year, which is not how you throw a bigger event.
It's like the Fire Festival.
We marketed and did everything exactly like Fire
the
Festival.
Exact same last
that was
time.
the
Right.
that was the whole concept. But we did it, yeah. But it was like a smashing success. It's not very entertaining to talk about how we threw it, because we just grinded our asses off and made it happen.
Yeah, we got 150 people on a riverboat and on the Mississippi River.
Yeah,
and had Yam House play.
It was
a really cool event. All of our podcasts like network, and then just like random people showed up. It was so fun.
It was so cool. So yeah, building off that from this upcoming year, we're thinking, and right now the details aren't etched in stone, but the fact that we've made this much progress already through January and February is like we're thinking of having it in Stillwater on the triple decker boat with an open top, and then booking probably 2 bands and a DJ or something like that, and getting everybody out there and selling out this boat. Because what's so cool about this event for Andrew and I is like we were having just genuine fun. We wanted to do this. We wanted to throw it, and then the impact that it made on the back end of like what people ask about, what people want to go to. Like when I've never had someone come to us and be like, dude, when's your next podcast coming out? It's like, dude, when's the next Bochella? I have to be there. Like that is the coolest thing, to be able to like take that sort of idea or thing around just literally Andrew and I like, hey dude, want to throw a boat party? Because like we don't have
a
boats.
Yam House on it.
Yeah, and have Yam House on it. We did exactly what we
wanted to do
and what we could do it with, right?
I already want to go.
Well, I wanted to bring you on because I wanted to tell you guys, because you and I talked about sponsorships. You've got a sponsorship from the Stationary Astronauts. Let's go.
Yes, sir, dude.
Boom. Huge, dude.
Huge.
Happy to be a part of it.
Yes.
Freaking huge. Wouldn't leave a dent.
Wouldn't make a dent. Presented by Rochester Lapidary Jewelers.
Hey, sell us some sun butter.
All right, so first things first about the sun butter, not peanut butter. Let's get that out of the way.
Ooh, I like that.
Not peanut butter. We don't say the P word here at sun butter, dude. Fuck the P word. Never saying the P word. Grab her by the P word. Just kidding. We'll cut that. Sun butter.
Did you just say grab her by the P word?
Damn.
Yeah. Grab her by the peanut butter.
Could you
not allowed to
please-
say that, dude.
For like corporation purposes, could you?
Oh, am I supposed to tell them what this is?
Could you give us like maybe a PG version of selling a sun butter? Sell me some sun butter. I've never heard of it.
I mean, 7 grams of protein, 200 calories. Let's see. No cholesterol. We got to talk about no cholesterol in the sunflower. So
it's dense, dude. You gotta.
it is very dense. Ooh, wow.
Healthy.
Non-GMO.
Ooh.
Gluten-free here, it says. Very nice. Does that mean vegans can have this?
Vegans can have that.
Okay. So shouting all vegans out there. This is a good ad. We're targeting the vegans right here. Boom.
What about a jingle?
A jingle.
Sun butter jingle.
We need a sun butter
don't say.
jingle brought to you by the Backpocket Podcast.
You guys got it, didn't you? We could do a jingle.
Are you trying to have fun with butter? Welcome to Sun Butter.
Ooh.
Okay.
Spread it, spread it, spread it.
Spreading positivity. We forgot that in the freaking ad.
Spreading positivity.
Through sun butter.
Damn it.
Wait a second. What's going on here? Peanuts, tree nuts, milk, eggs, fish, crustaceans, shellfish, wheat, and soybeans. Free the top 8 allergens. Oh, I see. That's what. No way, dude. What kid out there is allergic to tree nuts? If you are, good thing, good news. We got sun butter, dude. It's not going to make you blow up.
I like that.
I don't know what tree
Decky,
nuts
That's good.
Decky,
That's
are you
pretty-
ready to clear the stage and do your first ever one-off performance here at the Astro Network?
Yeah, I'll do that. How many minutes do I get?
We'll give you all the minutes.
Ooh, I don't know if that's a good move.
You got to rein him in, dude.
Yeah.
Rein him in a little bit. Tell
Give
him he
me
gets
like,
Well, we
Like-
want a tight 5.
oh, a type. I can give you a type 5.
Give him a tight minute 30. No, I'm just kidding.
Give us 7
I'm just
minutes.
7? I'll do like, I think I can do a confident 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, a confident 10, but like, did he prepare for this? I know you've got your set, but we're talking like, this is a storyteller version of your set.
Oh man, you're talking like right now.
No, once we clear the stage and get the smoke rolling.
I'm
you
thinking-
just want me to do a like a stand up set in front of you guys right here after we're done.
We'll
here?
record it.
Yeah, and we're recording it with
Yeah,
cameras.
In a nutshell.
Yeah,
And
I can do-
Sunbird,
yeah,
Sunbirder's
sure.
going to be there.
In a
I
tree
can,
nutshell.
I can do whatever it takes.
Okay,
I think he's been practicing. I think he's up to par. I think he, I questioned him because I haven't seen him perform in a long time, so I'm excited for the opportunity. But
Can
he's
I
been
give you like a
practicing.
one-out? Can I give you like just a solid joke? Like
Yeah, we want your best, dude. We don't want some fucking shit, right? Come on.
we don't want shit.
We want
We
the
don't-
Oh, you
yeah.
guys don't want my bad stuff?
We want
come
your
on.
sun butter stuff.
Right. We only want sun butter tonight.
Yeah.
we want the P word.
It's
Yeah,
dude,
let's get
Hey,
dangerous.
looking back at that, how many minutes ago was that? Like 2 minutes? Sorry about that.
What do you mean?
Sorry about the P word thing. Sun butter's
Dude,
better than that.
The this funny thing happens when you are a labeled comedian. You can say whatever the fuck
I don't know about all
you
that.
want. What are you talking about?
You can't say
bro,
whatever you want.
bro, you go to like
Cancel culture. You can't
true
really say whatever you
comedians
want.
like Chris D'Elia. You go to Chris D'Elia's ads, the corporations still pay him because he is a selling comedian who just is who he is.
Right.
And his fans, they love him because he is who he is.
The comedy now isn't like how comedy used to be. So yeah,
I think it is.
Bullshit.
You think
Bullshit.
so?
Oh,
It's the truest form of expression. It is the one thing
They
that
don't hold back.
Yep. It will always. It's actually gotten worse. Are you kidding me? The things that like Dave Chappelle is able to say nowadays, like it wouldn't have even hit their radar.
Well, it wouldn't have provoked really anyone either.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't even know it would provoke anyone. It's gotten to that standpoint with society too,
Chappelle
right?
and Bill Burr, but I think everybody else is kind of a little bit hesitant. I feel like that. I just feel like for the last few years, comedy has just took a step back where people aren't as flagrant as they used to be.
Well, I think it depends on where you're looking. You're looking at where they're delivering jokes. Like Dave Chappelle isn't tweeting his punchlines
Correct.
of the things he's saying on his Netflix special,
Correct.
right? So it kind of depends where you're posting it. Like if you're posting like bad stuff that would get you canceled, yeah, nobody really, even comics are doing that on Twitter, okay? But they're definitely writing the stuff down. They're definitely thinking about it, and they're going up on a stage in front of people
Performing.
and performing.
Mm-hmm.
And the performing, like Nick is saying, relieves you of anything, or not anything, everything.
to an extent. Yeah.
You still think even you can't go up there and say anything as long as it's funny,
As long as it hits.
as long as it hits, dude.
Kevin
people
Hart's,
don't think twice
Kevin
about
Hart's new special too.
Who's that Kobe guy we just talked about? Ari Shaffir.
Well, Ari Shaffir, like that
on
was
Twitter.
He tweeted
He
it.
A
tweeted. It
fucking
wasn't an actual
video.
performance.
Yeah, that was
What are
stupid.
you doing?
That was stupid.
That was
Yeah,
so
you're-
If he went up on an open mic,
on another
that's-
person's account too. He did it on Bert
Yeah,
Kreischer's
bad.
account. Come on.
Doesn't he have a history of doing stuff like that though?
Yeah,
it's just
but I don't
that-
care. I don't care what your history is, right? I don't know.
I don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not- I'm
and
not about it.
that's like it's time and place with anything, but then when you have where 51% of the population loves Kobe Bryant, and we can even go higher than that, fucking 90% of the population. When it's over 50% and you're doing that, you got to face the battle wounds, bro, because it's like he lost work from that. So was it worth it? Like, all right, yeah, freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want. If that's your running joke where you talk about dead people, so be it, bro. But guess what? It ain't going to be your end game because you're going to lose work from it. So be it. So be it. Like, you made your bed. And that's where, like, I'm at with it, where, Timmy, you and I have talked in depth about it on a prior show. But it's like, so be it, man. Like, there's plenty of comedians that will come in and take your slot. Like, if we're booking comedians, fuck it. We'll pay somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You're not even worth it. Because guess what? I value my consumers. And if there's going to be anyone bitching about a past joke you said after 2 years, I don't give a fuck, Ari, dude. Like, you made your bed. You're going to lose work from it.
Yeah.
But
it just is.
But they're 100% right, though. I mean, if you say something like that at a comedy club, people will laugh.
Or they won't laugh and they'll be like, that was kind of dumb. Moving on.
But it'll get swept under the rug. Versus, like you said, if you're doing it on Twitter or doing it on a platform like that, you're canceling yourself instantly.
Yeah. And you run the potential of, like, someone retweeting it and then overnight it goes to 1 million people. Like, you say it at a comedy event, like, maybe someone in the crowd tells their mom.
And honestly, cancel culture is like 20% of the interaction on, or it's like 80% of the interaction from 20% of the users. So it's like that portion of Twitter is so small. It's like they are minuscule. It could be even smaller than, I don't know the exact number, but cancel culture, I'm not about it. I don't think that it's actually like that prevalent.
Good stance.
We give it way too much weight, and it's like.
But if you really think about it, though, I mean, a lot of it is we care about it today, but we don't give a damn about it tomorrow. That's how it is with everything.
That's why, like, Ari Shaffir, is he really ultimately screwed? No.
It's irrelevant.
Correct. And it happens so fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to hire you, dude.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, be funnier, because it's kind of like, if you are going to tweet it, you almost have to be 10 times funnier if you're going to tweet it. Bro, like, it's beyond the
risk.
Time and place. You just got to be funny with it.
I think he was lazy with it, too, which is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I expect more out of him, because I've heard his comedy. He's fucking awesome, and I don't know.
Well, Deck just said, though, too, people are dumb because you don't understand the power of the screen record or the power of the screenshot. So you can't just say something and think that it's going to be gone immediately, even if you delete it. Because the amount of things that, like, especially with group chats, somebody's going to catch it, and instantly it's in a group chat, and next thing you know, it's in millions of group chats. And
then there's the other side of it where there are comedians, and I see this from one Twin Cities comedian, where he came back into the game with a pretty good podcast and back doing comedy. So now he, like, overextends where he feels each one of his posts and tweets has to be of comedic value. But the thing is it's like losing its value when you think it always has to be funny. That's why the comedians I respect, where, like, they're 90% real, and then the 10% where their comedic posts, they're gonna be funny as shit. Or on the other end, they always have to be funny. Like Chris D'Elia, that dude's just always on. He's never not on.
Because that's who he is, too.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're not like him, you should probably scale it back. So then I will, because when I see you trying to be funny now and you're not being funny, well, then it's like, I'm not going to go consume your product. Right. You get my drift? You've played your hand, basically. And that's the power of Twitter, where it's like, we kind of do know who you are in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? And then you add on a podcast where it's like, now we really know who you are. So you either better be always on, or you better be a real human being who's also a comedian. I think that's why people resonate with Joe Rogan. He's a real human being who's also a comedian, and he's well thought out. He puts in his time. He writes his jokes out. Then you have
to cancel him recently, too.
Oh, that's not even close.
And that didn't last at all. That's what I'm saying, though. They tried.
It's impossible. He's an untouchable. And there are, like, Dave Chappelle can say whatever the fuck he wants because he's an untouchable. Kevin Hart, same thing.
Well, he has a real person. He's like a real human outside of, making these crazy funny jokes, just like Joe.
And that's what we love about it. Yeah. And that's what the internet has allowed. We get to see these people as real human beings. And, like, the Demi Lovatos of the world, like, you feel so much for them when, same thing with, like, Ariana Grande. When Mac Miller came out, when they, his posthumous release for his latest album, I was checking in on Ariana Grande. I was making sure she's okay. You know what I'm saying? They broke up. He dies, and it's like, she's fucking broken. So it's like, these people who are stuck in the spotlight at all times, they can never escape it. It's almost like we couldn't even fathom the pressure that's on their shoulders at all times. So don't like be a shit human being and start dosing your friends, Ari, and like expect like the majority of society to have your back when you say some dumb shit.
Right.
Because people know who Kevin Hart is, so he's said some dumb shit back in the day. The majority of society had his back because they know he's a good human being. You get my drift?
Right. If you're transparent and you're yourself and you're a good person, you're you will become untouchable because you're yourself. You're not faking it and you're actually helping others. Like just do that, be yourself and enjoy it because you're making impacts. And that's like something that we've been able to do and we're trying to continue to do with season 4 coming out. Just having a ton of fun with the people that we've gotten to meet on the Backpocket, whether it's doing the Embrace North stuff or working with Devani's, working with Chris Lindahl. We're going to have a blast this upcoming year when I'm like, very excited because you become there's a sense of feeling untouchable. And that's why I love doing it because you can't hurt me and because there's really nothing on me. I'm really trying my best to be the best person I can be. That's like my mentality. And I think it's really cool to have something like Backpocket to push myself that way. I wouldn't want it any other way. And I think it's really cool that we kind of just like say, let's be the Backpocket way. Like that's just something we've bought into.
And with you saying that, that's 100% facts because it's one of those things now where like what you guys said earlier, you guys know Nick, you guys don't know me. But the thing is, I follow you guys, I watch you guys, and the genuine aspect of what you guys do on your show or on the podcast, let's just say, or when I watch it on the live feed. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm meeting you, it's not one of those things where you don't have to be any different than who you actually are. And the same thing goes for me as well. And so then now you get to a point where you build a connection, you build the bond just through the fact of being genuine and being straightforward at all times. And that's kind of the beauty of podcasting. And that's kind of where I know a lot of people that reach out to us, they're kind of talking about it. And I'm going, but you're trying to convey something that you're not. Like, we're not doing anything different here. He's wild and crazy. I'm not.
He's wild and crazy. I'm not.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's why you just, when you keep it 100 at all times,
He's never
keep
said
it
that
100.
before. Why are you saying that?
What?
You've never said 100.
100, dude.
It's his,
Come on.
his Yeezys brought it out of me, dude.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I should have been sitting like this the whole time to show off my Yeezys,
We
dude.
keep it 100.
Me just talking about my Yeezys. Or actually, I don't even want to talk about them. I just want to make sure people can see them.
I think they can see him. Stop saying 100.
What alleyway did you buy those used things out of?
I don't know. I couldn't say it. It was in Thai, or it was pronounced, or it was in the Thai language, so I had no idea. It was at one of the night markets, though. It was kind of sweet.
So they're already worn out like that? And
Yeah,
you
they were
got them
second.
like a month ago?
Well, no, these were, dude, they're second-hand fake Yeezys. So these were already worn before I got them. They were 20. Bro, they're broken in. They're very nice, though.
How you got a hand-me-down Yeezy?
I got hand-me-down Yeezys, and I got them for, like,
In a
$20
in a foreign country.
Yeah. Dude, these things are so well put together, though, dude.
Typically,
they're so nice.
it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Where like we send off the losers in the Super Bowl T-shirts off to Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they're getting off our offload.
Well, no, these guys are just the ones that like are buddies with the people who work in the Adidas, like the Yeezy manufacturing place, because that's where all the shoes are made. Thailand, Taiwan, Japan, like all the Southeast Asia countries. They all know, and so like the way they build these shoes are they through connections of people that actually work there, and then they also work for Puma, but they're like, I want to have a side job making one-off off-brand Nikes, Yeezys, Adidas, everything.
I can't tell the difference.
And he's wearing the stuff from a guy that bought from one of those guys.
Yeah, so I got a second hand of that.
I would buy it from the second person that bought it from that person. I don't even care.
Right.
How big was this Asian person you bought those from to get like a size 11 like those?
That's like the thing is when you're walking around these markets, it's like, dude, you're dealing with male sevens to like 10 and a half. So I'm like squeezing into like 10 and a half. So I'm like, yeah, it kind of works. And then out of nowhere, you see the shoes that look like Shaquille O'Neal shoes, but turns out they're 11 and a half. Right?
Because they're so small.
And you're
all the
like,
other ones
dude,
are small.
I've never seen this anywhere else, so I have to grab them, and barter down from 900 baht, you get them for freaking $25. You walk out of there with them on.
So you bought those from the Shaquille O'Neal of Thailand?
Yeah, Because a tall white guy is Shaquille O'Neal.
Did the shoebox match the shoe? Like
there was no shoebox, dude. Come on,
I tried.
It's okay. It's a good question. I wish I had the shoebox. Actually, yeah, kind of. It would have been a wasteful to have the shoebox, to be honest, because I wouldn't need it.
What else do you get from this guy?
It was.
He's got a Gucci wallet.
I got a Gucci wallet. Yeah, I'll show you my Gucci wallet. Bro, I gotta show you that one.
Gucci wallet. It's probably the same dude you got that mushroom smoothie from.
Gotta be.
I'm never going to Thailand, bro. I just can't.
I'm going to Thailand.
Wait, it was the Gucci wallet that you were like, I can't go there anymore. Not me. No way. What is that? I'm not going there.
It all started adding up. You know what I mean? The hand-me-down Yeezys, the Gucci wallet.
I got a crossbody too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, the crossbody was lit.
The windbreaker.
I got a windbreaker. Yep.
I'm going to Hawaii with my family. That's what I'm doing. What you did, Andrew.
Yes.
Dang.
Everybody's mom used to come back from Cancun or Mazatlan with fake Oakleys for you.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember those? The Folkleys?
Folks.
Did you guys come back to school with braids every time you went on vacation on spring break?
I don't have a lot of hair on my head.
I'm saying as a kid though, because like all my
I never have.
all my classmates used to always come back with braids, bro.
Wasn't me. My name isn't Amanda Martinson.
They would come back tan. They'd come back with braids. I figured everybody did that.
Yeah.
That used to be the thing. They'd come back with their hairlines pulled way back. Their eyeballs.
Bro,
Forehead.
They came with it.
Forehead's just like flat.
Just stretched.
Stretched. Oof.
Confession, I did have braids at one point in time, and I actually had a weave in. And so I had these braids so tight where like my eyebrows were to my forehead. So like I was like this. And I was working at Menards at the time, and I was working at the hardware spot, and it was just uncomfortably uncomfortable. Yeah, because I don't know nothing about hardware.
Tim, how long you been up for? 4 days.
Hey man, can I find some impact gun screws? You're like, over there. They're like, all right, dude. Just a simple question.
Tim, you haven't blinked for 4 minutes. What's going on? I can't.
I got Employee of the Week.
And he worked there for 1 week. Just incredible.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
congrats. We went to Menards to buy our plywood panels for the our new studio, because we also built out our new studio as well, which is kind of dope. You know, we both spent our time together, you know, starting a podcast at the same time, and then also felt the urge to like, okay, we've spent 3 years on this. We need a studio, you know, like
Right.
us dumb
Same
guys.
wavelength.
Yeah, we're on the some like same frequency, like podcast frequency, where we're like, gotta be carpenters.
Almost like you're on the astral plane with us.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I'm not trying to get sensitive here, but it seems like we're like really similar, you know. And like I kind of want you guys to invite us over to your. I'm tearing up. I don't want to tear up right now, but you feel me though? It just feels like there's a bond here.
Synergy.
Synergy. The astral plane. Are you the captain? Are you flying it?
No.
Yeah,
We're all having fun together
Right.
in
There's
first.
your
There's
It's a
only first
wavelength.
class.
Dad of the kale salad.
Thank you.
Kale Dad.
Kale
No,
Dad.
the astral plane is not an airplane, Tim. It's a wavelength. It's a vibrational state, bro.
I'm on the astral
He
projection.
thought it was an airplane.
I went with the plane bit too. I bought in.
I thought it was too.
Look,
Oh, you guys.
why can't it be a plane though? Like, think about how cool it would be if we had a plane.
Why wouldn't it be a plane?
I wouldn't be the pilot. Who would be the pilot?
There would be no pilot.
No, come on, dude. Let's get realistic about this. You fucking kidding me? There'd be no pilot. No, that's not how you get off the ground.
That's facts.
Get a pilot. We'd lease it out. By that, there's got to be an Airbnb for planes. If there's not,
I'll be the first to say I do
so.
not want to be the pilot.
Fly B&B,
Flyby.
also known as like just a jet, just a private
Right.
jet.
just a private jet.
The Jesse Etzler guy. That's what he has
Oh,
a company like that
Jesse
where you can just
Etzler.
rent a
Okay,
private
perfect.
jet. Yeah.
All we got to do is call Famous Dave.
Right.
He knows a guy.
He has to. And if he
Guaranteed.
doesn't, Steve Schussler does.
Shout out to Steve. All right.
He owns the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
Yo, stationary astronauts fucking figured it out. I don't know how, with the fucking haircut and everything, but he fucking did. He did.
Oh, look at you. That's what we're going to be hitting when Decky bombs tonight. Hookah shaka, hookah shaka. What else we got for drops?
I'm gonna be high.
I love that mix, by the way.
Sun butter, sun butter, sun butter.
All right, boys.
I
Welcome
was
to
wondering what those buttons were.
welcome to the party. You can program anything. You can slide over. do more. I think these are the nerdy songs. Yeah.
Dang it.
All right. Well, this has been an experience with the boys. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Go listen to the Backpocket Podcast. Season 4 kicking off this week with Chris Lindahl.
No. Bombs. Woo. You know that I'm worth it.